We're back for another segment with head coach Mickey Dean on the position breakdowns. On this one, we'll highlight on the catchers. Coach, talk a little about the makeup for the 2016 season behind the plate.
Well, first, Kelly, I'd like to welcome you aboard. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Now, what was your question again?
What are your thoughts on the overall makeup of the 2016 catchers behind the plate?
Well, Erica Field, I've seen just about every catcher in the country, and I've said this, I think she's the best in the country. You can't run on her, and she was one of the top 3 hitters in the country last year when it comes to extra base hits. She has a cannon for an arm. Nothing gets by her. She's tremendous. Where Erica needed work on was her verbal communication. She's kind of shy. So what has benefited her a great deal is actually the other 2 catchers. Alyssa Buttle and Ashley have done a nice job of being very vocal behind the plate, and so that has actually helped Erica. And another thing that's helped Erica is that when we do our camps and clinics, we sometimes put her in charge of the catchers and say, go teach. And so now she's able to take what she knows, and she's very good at it, and now to be able to teach it. Well, now she's able to take that also and verbally be able to work with Alyssa and Ashley on catching. So it's truly benefited us. And then, of course, you have Ashley and you have Alyssa, who are battling for that backup time. As you know, if you take a look at the innings that Erica's had to catch over her first 3 years, we're hoping that Alyssa and Ashley can relieve her of some of those innings. And this is nothing that's, that isn't discussed upon between our catchers and our staff. They know that, the position was open, Erica has won it, and so your job now is to be able to efficiently, effectively do that job so that we can give Erica some breaks. And it doesn't really affect Erica catching-wise, but I think at the end of the season, if we can get some innings off for her from catching, her legs will be better for her at the end of the season when it comes to her hitting. And because we've moved Erica to the leadoff position. And so, we want to save those legs as much as possible. And I can tell you that our catching corps works as hard as any group out there. They even when the pitchers go do their extra conditioning, the catchers go with them. And so they're starting to understand the importance of not just their position, but their leadership.
And then what are some of the focuses that are put on the catcher, not necessarily the physical part, but the mental part, given that they call the game?
Well, it's important that the catcher and I have great communication. For example, if I'm calling a pitch and a batter's moving in the box and they're moving late, the catcher needs to see that, and we need to communicate that. If a pitcher is struggling with something, the catcher is going to be the first one to see it because they're looking straight on at the pitcher. And so they need to have that communication with the pitcher and also with myself so that we can do what we need to do as quickly as possible. And we've gotten better at that. There used to be, we didn't do any of that type of communication, but it's gotten better, and it keeps getting better. They're also in charge of our defense. They are our eyes when it comes to defense because they see everything. And so we have to trust them, and they have to trust themselves. And they've gotten much better at that as well as far as where the ball needs to go. And, if somebody's out of position, they take care of that on the field.
Then how is it to have a 2-time CAA Defensive Player of the Year back, Erica Fields, behind the plate, along with 2 pitchers returning as well who've made big impacts? How is it to have both of them returning and that relationship that they build?
Well, you hit the ground running. You were a pitcher, so you know how important it is to have a catcher back there where you can throw any pitch you want and not have to worry about what's going to happen. It's going to end up well. It's difficult for a pitcher to cut loose on their pitches if they don't trust the person behind the plate. And Erica has proven her salt there. I mean, she's catches two pitchers who have a great deal of velocity and a great deal of movement, and so that's very beneficial.
Then wrapping it up with just your overall thoughts on the strengths of the catchers this season.
Well, I think their knowledge, to be quite honest, they understand the game extremely well, and so as long as they can verbalize that, we're going to be fine, because they all three know the game extremely well, and they're very talented. They're difficult to run on, because what one may lack in arm strength, they have back in quickness, or they put themselves in position. So all three are very difficult to run on as well, especially Erica. I mean, last year she led the country in stolen bases against. It's very difficult to run against her.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us, and tune in for our next segment about the pitchers.
Thank you.